Today we shall start the new chapter, that is Unit 3. First is the introductory class, so introduction to annual meeting. What is annual bidding? First of all, that is you have to know that is what is annual bidding. Achha, before some of you were asking me about the to refer the books. You know that these are the books for annual bidding. So annual bidding plan by Professor J. Luss. This is not really not for you. This is for master degree or higher level. And then this book, that is textbook of animal breeding by S.S. Tomar, is a very good book, and it is handy to you people. You can see it. And breeding and improvement of farm animals by Warwick and Ligates is also very good, nice book. Genetics of livestock improvement by Leslie. Okay, but just 2 and 3, the textbook of animal breeding by S.S. Tomar and breeding and improvement of farm animals. These two books you can consult, and that will be sufficient. If you want to definitely, if you want to score the maximum marks, you have to consult the textbook also. So, let us say that is annual breeding. Then what is animal breeding? What is breeding? So you know that is in case of those who are working with the crop science or the plant science, they will say the plant breeding. We are working with the animals, we will say animal breeding. Those who will work with the poultry, they will say poultry breeding. Now, what is breeding? So, um, if you want to know the definition of the objective of breeding, is to improve the genetic improvement of the farm animals, or genetic improvement of the crops, genetic improvement of the poultry, so that they will produce their maximum as per their capacity. Their productivity is to be improved. How it is to be done, that is there. So this unit 3, this is annual breeding. This part is totally your application part. That is application part. First, the unit 1 was the statistics, and unit 2 was the principles of genetics and population genetics. Now in unit 3, this is the application part, that is the annual breeding. That is how to increase the annual productivity or annual production. So breeding is the application of the principles of genetics and population genetics, in particular by using biometric techniques for genetic improvement of plant or animal or poultry, is known as breeding. Clear? So it is the application of the principles of genetics and population genetics, in particular by using the biometric techniques for genetic improvement of crop or the plant or the animal or the poultry, is known as breeding. So in case of plant, we say plant breeding. In case of animal, we say the animal breeding. In case of poultry, we say the poultry breeding. Then what is the that in the principles of genetics and the population genetics? Sorry, you have learned the principles. That is how in case of the major genes work, how the minor genes work, how they control the inheritance of the trait. Next, in population genetics, how the gene frequency and genetic frequency are changing. What is gene frequency and genetic frequency, and what are the forces responsible for changing the gene frequency? Selection is more major factor which is responsible for changing the gene frequency. So if we want, if we select the best individual in each and every generation, definitely the most of the superior or meritorious genes will be selected, or will be congregated in the population, so that the productivity of animals will be increased in each and every generation. So that is the main objective, and we have to use the biometric techniques. That means every time the performance characters are to be noted, are to be taken, and they will be measured in terms of the biometric, any metric units, according to, depending upon the character. If it is meal production, so you may take the kg or the liter. In case of body weight, you take the gram or the kilogram. In case of the egg production, take the number or the egg weight, like this. Wool production, that is in weight. So depending on, so we take the measurements of the characters. Then biometric techniques means, after taking the values, you have to calculate depending upon the character of the study. Then what is to be used, what is to be done, whether your chi-square test will be applied, whether normal distributions will be applied, whether analysis variance will be applied, or whether the t test will be applied. That is there. that so all these things ultimately all the principles of the statistics, population genetics, principles of genetics will be applied for annual breeding. So again, this definition, if you say on this on the basis of the main definition, now we can say, if I say what is animal breeding, then your answer will be it is the application of principles of genetics and population genetics, in particular by using the biometric techniques for genetic improvement of farm animals is known as animal breeding. So and for genetic improvement of poultry is known as poultry breeding. Like this, you have to tell in this way. Now थोड़ा सा हिस्टोरिकल पर्सपेक्टिव में चलते हैं, देखते हैं तो who are the persons actually contributed in the establishment of the animal breeding technique or animal breeding subject. If we see that is Robert Beckwell, that's 1760, 1760, mind the year 1760. Uh, uh, at that time, that persons has established the breeding system. That is Robert Beckwell. He is the breeder. He is an English person, popularly known as the founder of animal breeding. See, the founder of animal breeding, who worked on thoroughbred horse, shorthorn cattle, and Leicester sheep. See, thoroughbred horse, these are the breed of the horse. Shorthorn cattle is a big breed of cattle, and Leicester sheep is a sheep breed. So he was having a big farm, and in the farm he was having the different animal farm, that is horse farm, cattle farm, and the sheep farm. So at his farm that is placed at Disley in England, and became a successful animal breeding uh, or the successful animal breeder. Why he was why he is remembered? Because of his novel work. He started without knowing any knowledge of the principles of the genetics and the principles of the breeding. He established all these facts, because if you want to know the principles of genetics was established with the rediscovery of Mendel's laws of inheritance by three scientists in 1900. That is uh, uh, that is Hugo de Vries, Karl Lorenz, and Eric von Schermat. And then that is in 1900. But far more than 140 years before, Robert Beckwell has established the breeding system. Why? Because he followed certain breeding techniques in his farm. This first of all, the like begets like. This has led to development of the pedigree breeding. Like begets like, जैसे हम लोग बोलते हैं, जैसे 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 बाप है वैसे बेटा है. That means that son is inherited all the characters of like of the father. That is called like, or we can say like begets like, means one is the true copy, we can say. Uh, that is same genetic material is transmitted from parents to offspring, so that the offspring is the uh, carbon copy of the parents. That's why it is called like begets like. And that means pedigree breeding, he wanted that breeding system should be very pure. That will be uh, pedigree basis, but means all the historical records and ancestral records should be there in the register book, in the hard book should be there. And depending upon the which animal is better, that depending upon that they should used the breeding technique, that best sire will be used for the breeding in the population for breeding purpose. So in this way he used to maintain a pedigree. So that is called that it was not known the pedigree breeding, but he did like this. Secondly, selected males, if, if they transmitted the desirable traits, this has led to the development of progeny testing. If that those animals are the best, and would have been allowed to produce the progeny. What happened? What happened? If, there is a story. There is a story that Robert Beckwell, he used to lending his his animals, that is male, or the male of the चाहे cattle हो, चाहे sheep हो, चाहे horse हो, he used or lend देते थे. That means उधारी देते थे for the farmers, to the farmers in his around the village, like this. So एक एक विलेज में एक एक शायर उन्होंने loan de diya for breeding purpose. Now the villagers use that sire, and they observed it was mandatory for them that they should record the performance of their offspring, performance of the offspring. Accordingly, suppose that if five sire is given to the five villages, and they started the breeding, so observe the performance of their offspring. When the villagers recorded it, and Robert Beckwell observed that which sire performed well. So the sire which was used to perform well, he used to take back in his farm, and he used that sire for breeding purpose in his farm. So in this way, that means he selected the sire on the basis of the performance of their progeny. So this is now today we call it the progeny testing. So this type of mating system, or breeding system, he applied. Then breed the best to the best.
सर
बोलो।
सर ऐसा क्यों होता है कि सिर्फ हम लोग शायर को ही सेलेक्ट करते हैं, मतलब फॉर बेस्ट प्रोडक्टिविटी या बेस्ट परफॉर्मेंस के लिए? डैम भी तो इम्पोर्टेंट होता है ना सर, उसका कैरेक्टर।
डैम्स को आजकल करते हैं, डैम्स को करते हैं, और why that?
बट
yes, I have to answer it.
बट सर एंसेस्टरली तो पहले यही सोचा था ना कि शायर वेल डेवलप्ड या वेल डोमिनेंट होना चाहिए। तो ऐसा तो नहीं है ना सर, कैरेक्टर तो 50-50 ट्रांसफर होते हैं, तो फिर हम लोग सिर्फ शायर को ही सिलेक्टेड डोमिनेंट क्यों शो करते हैं?
Yes, I am giving your answer, because sire is called half of the herd. Sire is called half of the herd. अगर एक फार्म में अगर 100 गाय है, 1000 गाय है, that all the cow will be covered by one sire, and that means in a year, as much as insemination is possible from the semen of a single sire, so as many as offsprings you will get in a single year, whereas one cow will produce only one calf. Mind it, one cow will produce only one calf, whereas one sire can produce hundreds of calf in a year. That means if sire is very, I know that dam is also very good. The dam is superior. That dam is producing 20 liters milk, 30 liters of milk, but it will produce only one daughter. May not produce one daughter. Sometimes it produces the male also, male calf. So it is male calf. So then it is of no use. It produces daughter, well and good. If it produces the male calf, the male calf will be raised to be the bull that will be used for the breeding purpose for the next generation. So that's why you know that the best sire is to be chosen, because sire is not producing the milk directly, but it also transmits the genes for the milk production to the daughters. Okay? This is the system. That's why we always give the importance to the sire, not to the dam, because sire can produce within a quick succession of time. They can produce many number of progeny, but female, except the litter bearing, that is in peak. They can produce, if they produce the 2 crop in a year. So every time if they produce 10 piglets, so that means they will produce at the most 20 piglets in a year, whereas a male will produce the hundreds of but thousands of offspring in a year. Clear? अगर एक मेल अगर हम बहुत अच्छा सुपीरियर मिल जाता है, that it will be better. So which one is better? That means your selection of the sire will be always better, because sire may not produce the milk, but it possesses the genes of those quality, because sire also inherit genes from its mother. The mother is producing 40 liters of milk. That means that sire also getting half of the sample, half of the genetic material from his mother. So it is assumed that sire is also likely to transmit good quality of genes to the offspring, to the daughters. And in a quick succession of type, sire will produce many number of progeny. That's why importance is given to the sire. Nowadays, importance is also given to the females also, because through the technique of the in vitro fertilization and other techniques, a cow may have so many number of offsprings, but so many means not more than 10, 20, like this. That will be maximum. So next is the greatest contribution of Robert Beckwell to breeding methods was that the appreciated inbreeding as the most effective tool to produce the refinement. So this is he used, yes, the breed, the best to the best irrespective of genetic relationship. दोनों, that means उनको ये सब पता नहीं था। जो दोनों सगा भाई बहन अगर इसमें ब्रीडिंग करते हैं तो क्या होगा, उसमें उससे कोई मतलब नहीं है, लेकिन दोनों अच्छे होना चाहिए। तो जेनेटिक रिलेशनशिप कुछ भी हो, लेकिन उन्होंने इस तरह का ब्रीडिंग करते थे, दैट इज कॉल्ड ब्रीड बेस्ट टू द बेस्ट, एंड दिस वाज लेटर वन, इट वाज नोन एज इनब्रीडिंग, it is known as inbreeding, and inbreeding is responsible for the establishment of the pure breeding stock.